What is up, everybody? Welcome into this episode of It's Called Football. And we will be talking about the round of 16 of the Euros and then previewing the quarterfinals because there was a lot to talk about. This is going to be a shorter episode. We're trying to knock out two today, one for Euros, one for Copa America. So make sure you keep an eye out for that one. But man, round of 16 did not disappoint. I will say that. There were a lot of very exciting matches. I think we're all on board with that Turkey Austria match being just utter chaos. One of the best saves I think we've ever seen. So I'll kick it off. Jackson, what did you think of that whole round of 16? Any other matches that stood out to you?
I mean, I thought it was pretty good from top to bottom. Obviously Spain ran away with it against Georgia. I think everyone expected that, but I think just about every other game, bar maybe the Netherlands-Romania game, were pretty decent. To be completely honest, I thought the France-Belgium game was fun. Portugal-Slovenia was amazing, even though there weren't any goals scored. I thought that was a really fun game to watch. And then the England-Slovakia game, obviously, gets about as good as it gets. So I thought it was a really good round of 16. Would have loved to see just one more upset happen, but beggars can't be choosers. We got Turkey through, so yeah, let's keep it going.
Yeah, Jason, your thoughts on the round of 16?
My initial thoughts is that Ronaldo keeps getting his career saved. Again, he had Diego Costa with the 3 penalty saves and the save between when he had Sesko one-on-one in like the late 80s. Austria, we were rooting for them. Thought the comeback would happen. Fortunately, amazing save by Mert, literally the last minute of a stoppage time. But yeah, like you said, just wish for an upset. Seems like besides the Austria Turkey, which is kind of like even matchup, but just wish more of an upset would happen, and hopefully we get the same games coming up in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say we did not do too well in that Austria-Turkey match and then that Netherlands-Romania. I think we all picked Romania to win that one. They had their moments, but the Netherlands really just took off later on in that game and just showed their dangerousness. And that's a team that's looking really good at the moment. So get into that. Otherwise, yeah, you guys knocked it all on the head. Germany looked solid against Denmark, got that 2-0 win. France continues to be so lucky.
Mm-hmm.
They do not look like a good team right now. Got another own goal. Still have yet to score from open play. But knowing this French side, they'll end up winning the whole tournament the way they're playing. It'll be one of those bizarre ones. I can see them getting penalties somewhere and just kind of willing their way to victory. But we'll look into the quarterfinal matchups, and we'll say the top half of the bracket is a hell of a lot more exciting than the bottom half. We'll start with Spain, Germany. I think this decides the winner personally. It's going to be a hell of a match. Only issue is, hey, maybe something does happen and there is a little bit of laggage or lackingness following that, where they put a lot of effort into this, both teams, and you get out, maybe have an extra injury or something, and makes it a little difficult. Jason, I'll give it to you first. What are you expecting from this game? What are your predictions?
My prediction: I have the home country winning. I have Germany winning. They just looked good in the last matchup. Spain, um, like you said, whoever wins this is most likely going to win the whole tournament. And I agree 100%. I had Germany winning, entering the Euros. But again, Spain is no walk in the park. They can put the match. They can, not much of an upset, but I can see them winning. But regardless, if it's Germany, they have the home crowd. They've been looking great. It would be great to see Toni Kroos to go out on a international trophy victory. But don't count out Spain. Lamine Yamal at 16 years old, looking great. Nico Williams, again, the youngsters for Spain is pulling up really well. But I see a really close matchup in an intense game. I see Germany winning 2-1, going to the next round.
Okay, I like that prediction. It's going to be a fun match, and you brought up a lot of good players there. Jackson, what are you kind of expecting from this one?
I see Spain winning. I think throughout this tournament, they've been the most consistent. They've been the most dangerous. They've been the best team. Germany in that round of 16 game got the VAR treatment I was hoping the U.S. would get against Uruguay. Didn't happen, obviously, but they got, don't get me wrong, the right calls, but it took VAR after VAR after VAR to get them through. And after that draw with Switzerland, don't get me wrong, Switzerland has obviously proven themselves. I just think Spain has just been kicking ass. And sure, it was only Georgia in this last game, but they kicked their ass after being down. They came back and did it. I just think they're so deadly. I love their attack. I don't think Germany's going to be able to keep them out. I really don't. I don't think Mittelstadt's going to be able to deal with them out wide. I don't think they're just going to be able to stop the Nico Williams and Lamal threat that's going to be coming at them the whole game. Morata's going to get his chances. I like Spain's midfield. I think they're going to get this done. I was a little down on them before the tournament. We're both saying this team's too young. It's probably not their time. I think it's their time. I think this is a game that they'll go and win. Now, granted, Germany's sorry about that. I had to go in the basement here at my girlfriend's house. Don't get me wrong, Germany is very good, and they're at home. I just think this Spain team's the best team in the tournament. I think they're going to win this one 2-1.
Okay. I like that as well. I'm leaning to the side of Spain at the moment, but Germany, I'm going to be interested to see because Jonathan Tah was out for the round of 16 game against Denmark. He had too many yellow cards, so he was suspended for that one. He will be back, and that pairing of him and Antonio Rudiger in the back have been solid.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be very different style of attacking play from Spain that's going against them. We know Alvaro Morata can do stuff. We saw in the round of 16, Rodri got a goal. Ruiz got a goal. Nico Williams continued playing well. And then Olmo off the bench came in and created another level of difficulty. So this Spanish attack just seems a little too good at the moment. But that also puts pressure then on the German midfield of Gundogan, Toni Kroos, Jamal Musiala, who got another goal. Can they slow down that Spanish attack? Because as it has been in the past for years and years for Spain, everything starts in that midfield. We had the time of Iniesta, Xavi Alonso, all of that golden era of Spanish midfielders. Now we have Fabian Ruiz, Rodri, Pedri, who they're all just as good. Not to the level that Iniesta and the company were at yet, but it's still a younger side. So it's one of those things that they could be the future of this Spanish side. And I think this match is going to be won or lost in the midfield for either team. I am leaning towards Spain, though. I think it'll end up being 3-1. I think Spain will get a goal early. Germany will level it, and then Spain will get one late. Germany will get caught on the counterattack to make it 3-1 at the end. But I'm excited. I think this is the one I'm most excited for just because there is so much talent. There is so much pressure on both teams to kind of continue doing this strong run because neither of them have done much in the last 8 years in terms of international tournaments. Germany's last success was 2014. Spain was 2012. Since then, it's been a very much a rebuilding period. And now we have two really fun teams now.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at one that's just as exciting on paper, but I just see this potentially being one of the most boring games of the tournament, Portugal and France. I don't know what to expect from this one. France has looked atrocious. Portugal was saved by Diego Acosta.
Diego Acosta.
Yeah. So, first of all, he's going to get paid. He's about to get a fat paycheck. He's at Porto right now. He's only 24 years old. I was talking to someone who thinks this could be a guy who Germany ends up going, or Bayern Munich ends up signing to replace Manuel Neuer. We thought it was going to be Jan Sommer. Sommer's getting up there in age, so he's going to get a payday, and I think that's what they need. They need him to play really well against this French side that still has so much potential to score, and they're creating chances. They're just not finishing them. They're having the other team finish them for them, which is just kind of shows the pressure. Jason, I'll start with you again. What do you think of France and Portugal?
You hit it right on the mark. France does not, this whole tournament has not looked good, not having a goal in play. And Portugal, the last few matches, just hasn't been what we've been expecting, considering the amount of players they have. And again, you said it right. It's just there's just a way that France could win the whole thing, regardless of how they've been playing. The main problem for this Portugal team, and I will admit, it's going to be Ronaldo. Like, I feel like he's taking too much pressure. I think I seen a stat. There's kicks this tournament, and he's taken all of them, and they've all been misses. Like, none of them have been an attempt to try to assist to give in the set piece. He's just trying to do everything himself. Yes, he got that assist against, I believe it was Turkey, but that was an easy where he had to pass it to Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Portugal, regardless, every player for that type of team, you have to be putting up at least a decent performance, at least putting up a one goal in the 90 minutes, not needing extra time. And I think it just starts with Ronaldo. All the other players seem to be, having their moments, but not shining as well. And then France, again, not having their own goal. They were still looking lackluster. But like you just said, Jerry, they're going to somehow pull it off. I see France winning. Very boring match, 1-0.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for Jackson. What are your thoughts and expectations for France and Portugal?
So yeah, obviously France has been pretty disappointing, especially when it comes to attack this whole tournament, because you look at who they have in their attack. They're absolutely stacked. You have Mbappe, you have Thuram, you've got Griezmann. Those have been the ones who are starting them on the bench. You have Colomwani, who could come off and do bits. You have Dembele. You've got guys like that, and they've just been so unimpressive. Now I know Mbappe obviously broke his nose. That's affecting him. Whatever. Everyone else has just been so lackluster, so just uninspired when they play. But I will give their defense credit. I think their defense has actually been pretty solid. I think Saliba's been good. I think Upamecano's been good. Magnon, even though he looked shaky on that one free kick the other day, he still made the save. He's still making the saves. So I think defensively they actually look pretty good. And I think they look less prone to letting a mistake happen than the Portugal back line. Pepe, I love this dude to death. Love him to death. One slip. They should have lost that game. They 100% should have lost that game. I'm shocked that Shesko didn't score that. Dude did not have a good tournament. He did not live up to the pre-tournament hype. If he did, he would have buried that, and Portugal would be out. I think Portugal is just a little leakier when it comes to the back line right now. And I haven't really been as impressed with them offensively. I think Jason nailed it when he said that Ronaldo's just trying to do everything himself. You watched the last game? Penalty kick aside. He took a free kick from an impossible angle for no reason that didn't even come close. He's taking shot after shot after shot. It's not working. It's not working. He's trying to do everything on his own. I think that's going to come to haunt him in this game. I wonder if there's going to be part of him that really wants to beat this France team, because it's kind of like the final in 2016 where he got hurt, where he's going to try to do a little bit too much as well anyway. And I think that's really going to hurt this Portugal team. I don't think they're going to be able to score. And I think that when the chances do come, you're going to see the pace and the danger the French do have on their attack. Even though they haven't been great, they still have got unbelievable pace. You've got Mbappe, Dembele, Colomwani. Those dudes can run. And I think that's just going to cause them problems on the counter. We've seen Portugal have problems on the counter with teams far worse than France. And I think that's really going to be exposed in this game. And that's how France scores. I think they'll win 2-0, to be completely honest. They'll get one early and they'll get one late when Portugal's trying to go chase the game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think you guys both knocked everything out of the park. It's Ronaldo's the big issue. I wouldn't be opposed to him coming off the bench in this match. I know it won't happen, but maybe he would come off the bench, come on as a super sub, and that's where he needs to. He's 39. He's not the same speed, not the same player he once was, and the one that he thinks he still is. He's putting too much pressure on himself. There's a reason he started crying after he missed his penalty, was he expects to score that. And that kind of just shows, I think everybody in the world expected him to score that. Props to Jan Oblak, superb goalkeeper, but it's just one of those things that you expect Ronaldo to be putting that ball in the back of the net 10 times out of 10, and it didn't happen this time. I will say, as far as France goes, they will be missing Adrien Ribois in the midfield. So that's a big loss because Antoine Griezmann hasn't looked that impressive. N'Golo Kante's been solid, but it kind of changes the complete style because Rabiot has been pretty superb in that midfield. And as you said, Jackson's defense has been great. They've given up one goal all tournament, and that was a penalty. So it may not be scoring goals, but they are not allowing the opponents to get anything really close. Props to, as you said, Saliba, Uncampo, Theo Hernandez. Player I want to see in this one, He hasn't gotten a lot of minutes. He didn't play in either the first match against Austria or this round of 16 against Belgium. This lines up perfectly for an Olivier Giroud cameo in goal. I think he could come on. He always seems to be one of those players that you bring on and he changes games completely. I still remember England and France in the World Cup. He comes on, scores the late winner. He is a big time player for big time games, and this is a big time game. And if things aren't working with the French attack like they haven't been so far, a cameo from him could be the game changer. And I would love to see it because I do really enjoy watching Giroud play. He's just a physical, big center striker, center forward that will put pressure on Ruben Diaz, on Pepe. He can play the physicality with them, which will then cause Mbappe and Dembele and Colomwani to run up and down the wings. I think João Cancelo is going to be in trouble a bit. I do also have this being 2-0 to France, but we'll see this. This sums up that top half of the bracket in a great way. These two games on July 5th, so tomorrow, as we are recording on July 4th, Thursday, it's going to be a great day of footy to watch. Bottom half of the bracket, we have Netherlands, Turkey, England, Switzerland. We'll start with that Netherlands-Turkey game. Man, Turkey, as we've all discussed, incredible performance to get by Austria. Didn't really think anything would happen of that. And they did it without their captain, did it without another player who was suspended on yellow cards. Now they're going to miss two more players who are suspended for yellow cards. Another guy, Orkun Kochu, he has an injury, so he might not be playing. I don't see them beating this Dutch team. They've been so good. And then Bart Verbruggen, 21 years old, youngest goalkeeper at the Euros. He's been playing lights out, and I think this whole team will be extremely impressive against Turkey. Jackson, I'll let you kick it off after this, but what are you thinking of this match? Do you think it'll be a 3-0 again like they did to Romania, or do you think Turkey will put up a big fight?
I think Turkey's going to put up a good fight. I think they've got the second best support in this tournament behind the host. Like, they have got crazy fan support. There's already a bunch of Turkish immigrants living in Turkey who are more than happy to hop behind their home nation, I guess. And there are plenty of Turkish fans who went and made the trip all the way from Turkey to Germany. They've got fans, like fans. So I think that's kind of been like their main driving force right now, is they just have all that energy. And it's not just in the game, it's at the hotel, it's going to be in the streets. You get all that, and that makes a big difference. So I think this Turkish team's kind of been riding the vibes a little bit to get here, which is great to see. They haven't made a quarterfinal since 2008. So seeing Turkey finally play well and live up to the expectations that many people, I don't even think Turkey had expectations before this tournament, to be completely honest. But when you think about 2020, the disappointment that was, or I guess 2021 with COVID. So it's kind of good to see. But I think it comes to a screeching halt in this game, to be completely honest. The Dutch team's actually looking okay right now. They're actually looking all right. They took care of business, no problem, against Romania. In the group stage, sure, they didn't necessarily get everything they wanted, but they were a difficult-ass group, Austria, really good. I know they just lost to Turkey, but they were good in the group. And then France is France. So I like this Dutch team heading into this. They got the momentum from the last one. My biggest concern for them heading into this tournament was attack. I didn't think they'd have enough in attack, but they just put 3 on Romania. Now, it was Romania, but if they can do it to Romania, they can easily do it to Turkey. Demiral is a good player. He's not better than Depay, though. When you look relatively, he's not better than a lot of the guys the Dutch have. So I think the Dutch will take full advantage of that. If Wout plays, he's going to win everything in the air, 100%. Depay is going to be a problem. Gakpo is going to be a problem. And Malen, apparently he can score now too. We just learned that. So maybe Coman starts with him instead of Bergwijn. I don't know. They've got options, though. Turkey, they've been riding the vibes. It's been fun. I just don't think they're going to be able to do enough defensively. And if they are going to win this game, they're going to need to score some spectacular goals, which they've shown they can do. Arda Güler, first goal for the in the tournament, spectacular goal. But like you said, Verbruggen has been solid defensively. I think the Dutch get about as good as it gets, as you'll find in any international team. They've looked pretty decent defensively. So I think they'll get this done.
Yeah. Jason, what do you do you agree with Jackson? Do you think the Dutch get it done, or is Turkey going to cause the upset?
I agree with Jackson. Netherlands last match, even though against Romania, they still put up a good fight. Clearly, Malin right there. Turkey, as you said, they'll put up a fight. I don't think they'll win or be close, but I think they'll have their chances. They'll get their chances, but they won't score. Maybe I don't know why. I kept thinking VAR is going to take a goal away from them. But Arda Güler, I believe he got one assist last match against Austria. But he's looking good. But again, as you mentioned, Orkun Kukçu, he's going to be out, and that's kind of like their life in the midfield. Again, my main problem with the Netherlands, yeah, even though they had a good last game against Romania, I'm still not convinced of their attack. Yeah, even though their players are way better than the Turkish national team, I don't see Depay providing that. No, Depay's been disappointing so far, at least for me. And say if you put Wout Weghorst there, he'll probably do a lot better, mainly because of his height. I don't think Turkey has any players at least close to his stature. But still, in the end, I see the Netherlands winning. We're see it 2-0.
Yeah, I'm on board with you guys. I do think the Netherlands just have the more talented team defensively. We all know what Van Dijk can do back there. He's put that 3-2 loss to Austria behind him because made some big mistakes there. I mean, even alongside him, De Verge has been good. Dumfries and Ake have been good enough in the back. And then you look ahead, Xavi Simmons has looked very impressive recently. Last couple games, he's been stout. Cody Gakpo finds a different level when he plays for the national team.
Mm-hmm.
He's up there with like the James Rodriguez is. No one knows what you're going to do. The Grand Shakiris, where your club season doesn't really matter much. You're not going to do all that much. We don't expect much. Then you go to the national team and just start balling out. He did it at the World Cup in 22. He's doing it again now. He's tied for the Golden Boot lead with 3 goals. One of only 2 players who's still playing, along with Jamal Musiala. So he's going to be the one to kind of get it done, I think. And yeah, I agree. The pie hasn't been great. I would like to see Waghorse be up top because he's more physical. He's got that aerial threat as well, and that might be needed against a Turkish defense that's been solid as well throughout this tournament, and they're finding ways to win. I also want to say I think this is going to be the best atmosphere of all the Euros so far. You see the videos of the Dutch fans, 40,000 of them strong, jumping left and right in the streets. You see the Turkish fans, as you mentioned, Jackson, bringing the noise and bringing just chaos with them everywhere they go. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. I'm very excited for this one, but I am leaning towards the Netherlands. I think Turkey just kind of is running on vibes, like you said, Jackson. It's kind of luck so far. Massive save by Mert to deny Austria an equalizer at the very end of that match. I think Netherlands just has a little too much quality and will get through. I think it'll be 2-1, and I think it'll be a late goal from the Dutch to win it and advance to the round of 16 or to the semifinals. Could also see this one very much going to extra time. Of all the games so far, this one I think is the best chance. Maybe Portugal, France, just because neither team's looked great. But I like this one to go to extra time. And that brings the last match. England and Switzerland. I have a feeling I know where this one goes, and I don't like the way it goes, but I'll get my thoughts in a second. Jason, I'll let you kick off. What are you kind of looking for in this one for both teams?
Even though I want England to win because they do have probably the most, not well-rounded, most stacked from every position roster. But the just last matches, they have not been convincing at all. The players just aren't clicking. Again, you have Southgate as a manager. And then Switzerland, blanking out. They played against Italy, 2-0 win against Italy. Can control the match the entire time. It's going to be hard to see England winning. But I actually know I see the upset getting pulled off. I see Switzerland going to the next round. They were just clicking. I see Shaqiri. He's gonna, for some reason, I imagine him gonna have a banger of a goal in the early minutes of the match to get the England vibe low, get them vibing down. But the whole team, England team, for almost 90 minutes, completely lackluster in the last match. You got a lucky bicycle kick from Jude, um, which was impressive, but you can't be doing that 90 minutes against Switzerland. A team that's being a bit underrated, under the radar, and look like they're gonna have a very good chance to upset England. And I see them doing that 2-1 to go to the next round.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, England was so lucky. 95th minute bicycle kick after playing 94 and a half minutes of just utter dire football. I had accepted that England was going to lose that, and then Jude pulls a miracle. Harry Kane gets it done in extra time. But Jackson, what are you thinking of this one?
So I don't think that I gave the Swiss the credit they deserve. I don't think a lot of people did. When I did my dark horses, I didn't even really consider Switzerland because I don't know, they might fall a little ahead of that dark horse category just because you see them constantly making round of 16s, quarterfinals, but they're still not one of the favorites. So I feel like they should have been considered. I didn't even consider them. I put friggin' Serbia ahead of them. So I messed up on that because this Switzerland team looks good, man. They look good. They drew the hosts and they looked good that entire game, and they just knocked out the defending champs like it was nothing. They were all over in that game. Never looked like they were going to lose it. I never felt like Italy was really going to score. They looked very, very good. I think they've had one kind of bad play that I can remember from Jan Sommer that was pretty horrendous. Other than that, he's looked pretty solid. Obviously, you have that 1-1 draw with Scotland, but apart from that, it's been par for the course. So and you brought his name up earlier, Shaqiri. Has a Shaqiri masterclass written all over it. I don't know if it's cutting inside and bending at top ends with his left. I don't know if it's a flying scissor kick like he did against Poland in 2016. I don't know what it is, but this is the chance for Switzerland to go to the semis. That man is going to step up. Now, speaking on England, you didn't look great against Slovakia, Jerry. You really didn't.
Oh no, I mean, like I said, I had accepted defeat. We were atrocious.
Yeah, I'd already tweeted out the fact that my anti-England rhetoric, and then Jude Bellingham made me delete that tweet. My God, man, what a goal! I'll tell you why. He's a big time player. I know he hasn't had a great tournament. He looked shaky in some of the group stage games, but he has shown up when you guys need him to. He and Harry Kane both have. They've been the only two so far, besides Pickford and Gahey, who have played well, straight up. Going into this one, though, it's going to be challenging. Walker's going to have to deal with Vargas on that side. I think Abashir is how you say his name, has looked very good. And Ricardo Rodriguez can also add late. Even though they're playing with a three-back, Ricardo Rodriguez loves to get up and run. He loves to get across, and he's going to have to deal with all that. I don't know if he can deal with all that confidently, to be completely honest, running at him. When it comes to set pieces, Breel Mbolo is an absolute nightmare to deal with. It's understated a lot, but this dude wins so much in the air. He scores so much from corners, from crosses. England's going to have to deal with that. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to deal with that all the way. I think he's had a very good tournament. I don't know if he's going to be able to track him all the time. I think that there's going to be some point where you guys fall asleep and they capitalize on it. I like the Switzerland team. I like what they've got going on. I like their players. I like how they've been playing. They're playing confident. England, they've got on paper the second, third, maybe even best team in this tournament, but it just hasn't been clicking. Problem maybe is Southgate. Problems maybe media. I don't know exactly what it is. But at the end of the day, you guys are still in the quarterfinals, so well done. But I think it ends here. I don't think you've got the camaraderie. I don't think you've got the chemistry right now, which at this point, a lot of what it comes down to is just how well a team can play together rather than individual players. And England just doesn't look like a team, to be completely honest. The attack has looked muted for the most part, besides a moment of brilliance from Jude Bellingham, and then obviously the Harry Kane goal. It has looked muted. It just hasn't looked great. The only thing I'll give you props for is defensively, you've looked relatively solid, except for in the first half against Slovakia. It wasn't really working there. but I just don't think you got enough in attack to go and win this game in terms of just the overall chemistry you have. I it looks like a bunch of individuals who are just told to go out there and play without any real instruction. Whereas Switzerland looks like a team right now. They look like they're playing for something bigger than themselves. They look like they're playing for the flag. And I think that's ultimately what this is going to come down to. They're going to carry that on and win. England's got the quality. So I wouldn't, if they pull it off, it's because they're better players. But I think right now Switzerland's a better team. And they're going to be able to hurt England in places where England has looked vulnerable in other games, but just haven't faced quite the team that Switzerland is.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying, but I mean, the big thing for me is Gue's out. He's suspended. He picked up a yellow card.
Oh, is he actually?
Yep, he's suspended. So that's a massive loss. But at the same time, everything I've been reading from the English media and journalists over who are covering the team there looks like England's moving to a back three. Looks like it's going to be a back three of Ezri Konsa, John Stones, and Kyle Walker, which I think that's needed. It now lets you get more width in midfield. We saw Bukayo Saka playing like that left wing back or right wing back towards the end of that Slovakia match. I think something like that could happen again. I think Phil Foden might get dropped for Cole Palmer because Palmer can get back better. Kobe Mainu has – I've really enjoyed watching him. He's been one of the bright spots now that he's starting. I think he gets something going there. And it also sounds like this was a wake-up call against Slovakia. Pulled off a miracle. Did not deserve to win that at all. Seems like something in the England camp from all the reports I've read has changed. I'm not saying England's going to come out and dominate like they could win 3 or 4-0, but I think something's clicked. I think Harry Kane's woken up. I think Jude Bellingham realizes what he has to do and how he has to play. I wouldn't mind seeing Declan Rice get dropped, like Eze instead, or even maybe throw Trent Alexander-Arnold on the outside. You kind of slide Phil Foden into the middle, or Jude Bellingham, drop him back into that center mid where Declan Rice is. I'm taking England. Definitely a little bias as well there, but I do think everything I've read since that Slovakia match, everything I've seen, kind of trending towards England having a coming out party here and maybe winning like 2-0 or 3-1 is kind of where I'm expecting it. But I've expected bigger things from England so far this tournament, and they failed to prove completely. So you never know. Switzerland, you mentioned Shaqiri. Granted, Zaka's day-to-day, so I don't know if he's going to be playing. If he's not, that's a big loss in this midfield. He was superb in the group stage. Pretty solid against Italy. Played all 90 minutes, so I don't know what he picked up, what the knock is. We also brought up Vargas and Mbolo. Those two guys are very dangerous. The back three of Akanji, Schär, Rodriguez has shown extreme skill and growth since the last tournament we saw them in. And then Jan Sommer, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's going to be very difficult to beat. I think Switzerland was very unfortunate to not win the group against Germany, but I think it's benefited them in the long run. I think if they beat England, they could very well beat the Netherlands or Turkey. But like I said, got to back the side. I think England gets it done. I'm going to take Harry Kane and Jude to score again because it doesn't seem like anyone else has so far. But I'm hoping that change of formation opens up more space in the attack, allows more players to kind of free flow. Concern with that is you get 2 attacking, and then the back 3 is left to hang dry, which Switzerland will make them pay if that happens. Any other final thoughts, boys, on the round of 16 or the quarterfinals upcoming? Let's get underway tomorrow.
I don't really have much. It's been fun, and again, I would have loved to see just one more upset. But when you look at the matchups that we have, it's kind of hard to not get excited, especially the top half of the bracket. I mean, that is peak European footy right there. Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, and then at the bottom you have Netherlands and England still there. So from a purist standpoint, you've got 6 of the 8 teams that are just the big boys in Europe. So it'll be pretty fun to see who comes out on top of this. This is going to be a fun little quarterfinals, about as good as it gets when it comes to that. And it'll be fun to see if someone like Turkey can maybe pull an upset. Maybe Switzerland keeps going on the run. But I'll tell you what, that top half of the bracket, man, is looking pretty damn strong.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be an absolute blast. Jason, any final thoughts?
I just want good matchups. France and Portugal have just been lackluster. like you said, it's peak European football, but sometimes the best on paper matches turn out to be very lackluster. I just want a good matchup, and hopefully it proves right to being like top European class football here.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's been a great pleasure, as always, talking with you boys. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tune into the Euros. Quarterfinals getting underway Friday at, I want to say, noon Eastern time. 4 exciting matches. Make sure you stay tuned for our later episode coming out today of the Copa America quarterfinals preview. Have a good weekend. Enjoy 4th of July, and we'll see you guys next time.